are getting some questions. Hey, are there some guys throwing a chatterbait? Yes. That's what we can tell you right now.
These islands.
Absolutely, yes, there is. Chris Lane's first and only keeper right there.
And Hank Cherry calling with a 4.5 pounder. Kurt Myers caught his first 5.5.
There you go, Cherry on top. We got Matt Lee coming up from 82nd place into the top 5. Wow. Tommy Biffle coming from outside the top 20 up into the top 3 right there. So lots of movement going on out there. Plenty of fishing left on the second day
Matt
of
Lee
competition.
making a move right there.
How about that? Matt Lee getting after today. Day 2 on Toledo Bend. We'll be back with more Bassmaster Live.
I think it's going to take, you know, in the over 90 pounds. You know, it's hard to do it 4 days in a row. I had a great day today, but it's going to be really hard to duplicate the amount of pressure out there in the locals and how bad Bass Track is to bringing people to you. And these guys just won't, you know, it's not like there's thousands of spots with big fish on them like that. If there was, you know, everybody would be catching them, but it's just not like that. So there'll be a handful of guys that are on the places that got some big schools, the big ones on it, and the rest of the field's going to be struggling to catch, you know, 3-pounders.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend, brought to you live by Toyota.
Days, it's funny, I wake up in the morning and nothing else matters except where and when my first bite of the day is going to come. We have so much going on in a tournament, getting gear ready, in and out of the truck and the boat, prep and tackle, all that kind of stuff. And probably one of the most favorite pieces of gear or equipment that I've got is my ARE Z Series cap, ARE's premier model, and it's easy to see why.
Right there.
He's fished here for decades. He knows every hump, every drop-off, every contour. He's dedicated his entire life to understanding this single body of water, and he didn't know squat about it until 2 hours ago. AutoChart Live lets you build your own high-definition maps anywhere in the world in real time. Only from Humminbird.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing.
Hey, baby.
With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S cap, plus more. Call us or log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass now.
Moments away from takeoff here, and we decided to ask our pros this week, not a question, but we wanted them to impersonate the people they travel with all year. And we're asking you to impersonate another Elite Series angler. Anyone you want. 6 seconds, go.
My name is Aaron Martins, and I'm in better shape than anyone out here. I eat better, I drink more water, and I catch a lot of bass.
I knew it. You know, that was pretty good. You know, I knew I'd catch 5-pounder. I knew it.
I knew it. I knew it.
Do you have any Elite Series impersonation?
What's that? Talk says, I knew it. I knew it.
An impersonation of an Elite Series pro.
Impersonation, what'd that mean?
How about a Trip Weldon?
I can't do a Trip Weldon. I have to get down on my knees and stuff, and I can't really do a Trip Weldon.
dude, like a 6-pounder. Smashed it, dude, and I was like, bro, what, bro? Cliff crochet.
Let's see. How about Marizo, Shimizu?
I don't know.
Marizo?
Yeah.
Big Mama?
Marizo, Big Mama.
Give me a Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Oh, golly, I got a big old pig.
I can't do a Tommy Biffle. He That's a Tommy Biffle.
This is my creek. I want from this right here all the way down to the dams, about a 7-mile section.
6 seconds. You got any impersonations in you?
I'm gonna cut you.
Who are you impersonating?
Ish. Ish is always saying that.
So it's an impersonation of Ish impersonating you.
That's right.
I like Biffle's my favorite. I'll cut you.
Where's your girl? I'm fishing all of this.
Oh, I got Biffle, but I can't get my shorts on right now. Biffle's the only guy I ever known to get fired from Hooters for wearing too short of shorts. What are you laughing for? You're supposed to be professional holding that camera.
Does it concern you that you are kind of the #1 person impersonated?
I can believe that.
Live coverage of the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend will return after this short break.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2014 Geico Bassmaster Classic champion Randy Howell. Trip includes airfare, hotel, rental car, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat with Mercury engine, and Randy's gear from Lowrance, Daiwa, Bass Pro Shops, and much more. You, the winner of a valuable prize, could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
30, 29, 28. Tick, tock. 25 years old, and you're still laying in the mud. 15 feet in the air, that's where you feel most alive. 10 meter maids waiting to wallpaper your truck. Better get out of town. 5, 4, 3. The all-new Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
Launching into hour number 3 of our Bassmaster Live coverage. 6 hours we've got on the schedule for today.
Really?
That was the scene tomorrow, or yesterday, or today, excuse me. You shook me up right there. Really? What do you mean? Day 2 of the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite on legendary Toledo Bend Reservoir, all 180+ thousand acres of water here in a very remote place, East Texas and West Louisiana, and man, it can be very tough to get a phone signal. That's what we live on. That's the blood. We knew that. That's the blood that we live on here.
When we first saw this on the schedule, I'm going to jump out right now. Kevin VanDam, Bassmaster, what? Live. Thanks. Well, you can tell right there, Kevin VanDam trying to get his hair jig going, just like we saw at Kentucky Lake last year. Such, by the way, nice blog insert. Sores on the bass come from rough spawning. I like that you changed your term.
Rough talking, rough spawning. Yeah. It's close.
Everybody needs a rough talking every now and then. Bassmaster Live. Oh, sorry, Tommy.
Bumped it there, didn't. No, it's just a long point that runs out here, and you know, there's just long underwater point, and it's real clean. It's got some, you know, it's got some hard bottom on it. That's the big thing here, is there's so much structure, you know, as far as humps and ridges and points and things like that. But you got to find something that has, you know, some irregular bottom on it too. You know, that's not mud or just clay or anything like that. It's got some gravel or rock or maybe an old house foundation or, you know, anything like that, or even some timber on it. You know, this one here is clean. Must have been, you know, like a field or something, because there's no wood out on it or anything like that. But it's got some hard bottom.
Good answer right there for a lot of folks wondering what VanDam was looking for as far as bottom contour. Basically just clean areas that are not choked up with a lot of cover. Friend KVD, here's a new nugget for you, Such.
Oh, yeah?
Friend KVD's got a couple kids graduating in a month. Big graduation party going on up in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm like 25 foot right now.
I'm right there with them.
I'll make the most of that. What's that?
I'm right there with them.
Are
I
you
got
really?
2 graduating
wow.
Sunday.
Is that right?
High school, yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Way to go, Such.
Yeah.
I think they're graduating.
Hope so, at least.
So hard to stay in good position, even just with a little bit of wind when they're on a very specific spot.
I'm going to have a lot of problems. I'm being dead serious. Such, I'm going to have a lot of problems seeing his kids graduate.
Jackson and Nicholas?
Yeah, I mean, they grew up with Hunter and Jacob.
Sure.
They've hung out since they were born. I'm going to have trouble with that. I'm not going to lie.
They're part of your family, basically.
They're not part. They are. And I never thought I was. I'm an emotional person when it comes to kids getting older.
Did you hold them as babies? Have them bounce on your knee or anything?
Little VanDam kids and Zona kids, dude. That's depressing. Now they got mustaches, or they have to shave them, but I got a problem with that. Bassmaster Live. Folks, I'm not going to lie, we're locked up tighter than a drum out on the lake right now.
Thankful for what we've had so far. I mean, we'll get some more pictures for you in a little
bit. I'm losing it, bud.
I know, you are not liking this at all. You got to look at the bright side of it.
Here's what I'd like to do,
okay.
Tommy. We'll throw this to some of our folks on Bassmaster Live, Bassmaster Feedback Live. This lake's a lot different than the last times that we were here in a very, very big way. And what I mean by that is water level. If you look at the year that Dean Rojas won, taking a peek at it right here in 2011, man, this lake was in drought condition, as were so many lakes throughout Texas.
You go through some of that timber in the northern part of the lake, and the boat lanes were dry.
Absolutely.
I mean, the boat lanes were dry.
And I'm going to tell you something. You could look on any of the Texas forums and stuff like that. This is really kind of, when I started fishing this lake, it was terrifying to run a boat out here. The boat lanes were dangerous back then. And really, you got to understand, during this event, you got to understand how much cover was in this lake. Let's fast forward to 2014. There's the Toledo Bend, kind of that we're in right now.
A little bit more like what we've got now.
Exactly, a little bit lower than we're in right here. But here's what happens, is it goes from, like we've seen in Dean Rojas, all the way to, looking at here in 2014 with Randall Tharp, it goes from, it's very obvious how to read this lake, and then it goes to, oh my gosh, where do I go? Start?
Exactly.
And gang, if you've never been here, a lot of the folks that are online with us that do fish here, it gets to the point where there is so much cover, it's overwhelming. Because you can only cover so much of that cover in a day of fishing, and really that's the condition that the lake is in right now. The only difference is, looking at this footage right here, if you kind of rewind back to this tournament, looking, I guarantee this is Jacob Prosnick. I'm talking one of the best hook sits ever, jacket. There was a lot of grass in the lake then. There was a lot of milfoil, a lot of hydrilla, but the floods that we had earlier this year basically have ripped a lot of that submergent grass out of the lake. Now,
that's 2012 right there.
2012, kind of what we predicted could happen this week was really a rewind of 2012, looking at Cliff Pace right here, not fishing far from our takeoff.
No, you could almost see the takeoff.
Exactly right.
And Brent Chapman were as well, not far from there at all.
Brent Chapman literally was just down the lake from Cliff Pace. And this is the kind of tournament, gang, that we really thought might transpire this week just because time of year. The only X factor in that is there is so much cover on the shoreline combined with that shad spawn that the shallow water guys do have a prayer this week.
Now these guys were, a couple of guys were backed off a couple of 100 yards from the mouth of a small creek out there in pretty deep water, and very slow fishing. Very, very slow. Just sort of dragging it. Get back out to Kevin VanDam, see if we can get a picture to move for us out there. He goes.
Floods canceled our high school event that was scheduled there 2 months ago.
3 giant flood events this year.
We got VanDam locked up live. And he's locked up live.
Needed that one, though.
Absolutely did. It's the biggest fish of the day so far, and we're getting a really, really, really good look at it right there. But that's what we were waiting for to start with VanDam. And as soon as he goes back live, we will be back out on the lake.
Absolutely, we're back out. As you were watching yesterday, up to this point, it was Morizo Shimizu on top. Had a good limit early. I think he got double punched on one of those fish, maybe had more than we thought he had. But he kind of held the lead until maybe around 10 o'clock as we were heading into that now. Like that's when things started to pop for these guys who were, especially the ones who were cranking on.
Really, that's what we saw. If you looked at Bass Track yesterday, I'm going to tell you something. Bass Track was actually, don't quote me on this, it was fairly dead on yesterday in the morning throughout the afternoon. I think the only one that was sort of off was Morizo was off a little. But here's what the point is: there was a lot of 14 to 18 pound bags early, and then there was massive calls from 10 until about 2 o'clock.
Yeah. We also had a lot of guys who didn't show up. They were at the bottom, showed up as 0 for the longest time, and then they made a move, and their stuff finally loaded in, and that may be happening out there as well today.
Exactly. You know, one of the things that we were looking for to possibly play in this tournament when this schedule came out last year was, if you see a lot of, let's just go with some of the Bass Champs tournaments that go here this time of year, really into the beginning of June, you start to see that big ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half hydrilla flipping jig where really they're flipping the outside grass from 12 to 20 feet of water, that hydrilla. That's what we all wanted to see in this tournament, but obviously not the case at all with all that grass getting ripped out. But I'm going to tell you something, Jack.
Hold on.
That is how a lot of the tournaments, you know, the Texas Team Trails or the Bass Champs tournaments, for the last 5 years, that's not how they were won. That's how they were dominated. Deep hydrilla. Flipping that deep hydrilla where you get in a scrape and catch 30 to 32 pounds in 5 drops. That bite obviously not existent because of the grass. Bassmaster Live, Kevin VanDam Live. Go ahead.
There we go. I would just watch Kevin for a while here.
I hate Bass Track.
That's your response to your praise
right
for Bass Track right there.
That's the news note nugget of the day.
They must have the location, well, either that or the, you know, because they just steadily coming. I don't think it does, but it don't matter. All you got to have is one dude with a cell phone.
Bass Track is a lot like a mother-in-law. It's there, but it ain't there at times. Oh, I'm sorry. See,
what are you talking about? You were just singing the praises.
I know.
Singing the praises of Bass Track.
I know.
And now Kevin VanDam turns, so you jump over to his side.
Al and Chris Mitchell's calling me out right now that I said Bass Track is always right. That did not happen. That will never happen.
Oh, no.
Ever.
It can't.
Chris Mitchell and that Avatar pick still gets me to this day.
Which pick is that? I'm not.
Oh, he's
I don't follow.
The Magnum PI pick that he puts up of himself. Who does that?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm just going to say one thing to Beast Coast while we're watching VanDam. Well done, sir. Well done as always.
Well, you know, yesterday was one of those deals where, because I was able to get out, there's a good one. When I was able to get out there, that's a big one. Feels big, and it's getting littler. It's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a big one. Giant. It's about like this right here yesterday. He's got one hook, and it's a great big one. If I can land this one, go a long ways.
Oh my gosh.
Boom! There's an 8-pounder right there. Dude, and I just got a hook in my hand. Like big time. And I got a 10XD in my hand.
Wow.
Okay, so hang on here.
Well, he's got a whole lot going on right now. This is why I love bass fishing.
God dog. This is not what you want right here. Look here. That's bad. So what we're gonna have to do, and you just catch an 8-pounder, you want to get back in there, but I've got to get that out, and the only way to do it is with braided line. So I'm gonna have to
walk us through it.
Hey, I need.
No.
I got a hook in my hand. Out, but I'll show you how to do it. Yeah, well, we're gonna do it again. So, Derek, hop in here.
Garrick's gonna do it. Garrick Dixon, photographer. Garrick's gonna jump in here. Oh.
If we don't start getting pictures soon, we may have to assemble the Bass Live players and do a simulation of
Well,
this.
on the other side of that, we now know exactly what he's throwing.
Yeah, yeah, if we were holding off on that information,
I
the
think
embargo's
it's fair to
over.
say
Yeah.
KVD's throwing a 10XD. That as soon as he comes live again, we'll get a picture of that too. Boy, that right there, you're looking at Kevin VanDam a moment ago.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a big one, giant. It was about like this right here yesterday. He's got one hook, and it's a great big one.
I'm gonna tell you, Garrick Dixon is the man for the job, though. He really is.
Why do you say that?
Oh, he's a very calming person. Seriously, he's the guy for the job. It's a man of steel right there, in my opinion. He is.
Go a long ways.
And in all honesty, there was only one hook in there. It's not that. It's doable to get out.
What are you calling Van Dam then? What are you saying about Van Dam?
What? Don't stir things up, Jack. hold on. Boom!
There's an
Tying it up.
Tying it up. There we go. Ready, gang. We're gonna get a picture of this in 1 second.
Here we go.
Here we go.
That's good. Okay, so then you're gonna wrap your arm around right here, and get just about that much, and you're gonna get a slack, and you're gonna freaking jack it.
Get in the game, Garrick.
And so, and I guess I gotta push right here, and so we'll close your eye. You ready? Don't tell me, just do it. Just like that, slick as a whistle. Okay.
Told you, Garrick was the guy for the job.
Call.
Absolutely.
Oh, put that hook back on there. Did you get a little
10
payback?
seconds, pretty fast.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad we got that picture right there. That made me happy. So,
hey, the last 5 minutes have been worth it all day long. We can watch that all day long. That's fantastic.
good stuff right there. Kevin VanDam going to be back in action here in a second.
Ooh,
Locked
yeah.
up currently, tighter than a drum. Nice job, Garrick Dixon. See it again, slow motion.
Kevin said, "Don't tell me, just do it."
Boom,
Did it,
gone.
yeah.
Bapoo.
Slick as a whistle.
I got to tell you a story, Such, about last summer. A gentleman came to my house that this had happened to him. And I said, let's get the braid, not a problem, blah, 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 blah. And I look, and he's pouring one of my favorite libations over his hand to take the and I said, whoa, champ.
Wrong move to begin with. God.
That's the true story.
Everybody gets hooked with a hook, and your area comes to your house. Is that what happens?
Well, he came to my house. He stopped. This is no joke. He stopped on the way by and folks were locked up tighter than a drum, Jack. As soon as we get service there. He stopped in my house. Such, this is no joke. Stops in my house. He's got flip-flops on. He's been out of the water all day. Gets a lipless crankbait caught in his hand. He said, "And I'm going to the hospital. I got to go get this dug out, blah, blah, blah," and starts disinfecting it with a libation. And I said, "Hey, man, easy on that. We got some alcohol or peroxide to put in there." True story.
Kept him from going down the wrong path. That's great stuff. But I like that. More of that if you don't mind.
Don't worry.
We may take a break here. We may take a little break
I'll
here.
tell you the rest of the story.
We've had
break.
enough excitement for the time being now. We need a short break. Hey, cherry on top. And look at Kevin VanDam, the 8-pounder. He puts him right back. Just 4 pounds behind.
How about that fish catch?
That was nice. That was excellent. That was worth the wait. Hopefully we got more of that coming. Kevin VanDam gets into something like that, no telling what's
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
The competition is fierce, and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Live coverage of the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend will return after this short break.
29 pounds, 3 ounces!
Edwin Evers here, 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion. In celebration of Lawrence winning the last 5 Bassmaster Classics, we're going to extend the Ultimate Upgrade promo. If you buy an HDS Gen 3 with Structure Scan 3D, we're going to mail you a $300 rebate. 5 Bassmaster Classic champions in a row. That doesn't happen by chance. That happens because these units are the best.
The ultimate predator has evolved again. Now, Yamaha V-Max SHO Performance is prowling the waters in 4 hungry, exciting new models. With their 4 valves per cylinder and double overhead cam fuel-injected design, these advanced 4-stroke predators are taking performance to a whole new level. Vicious, lean, efficient. V-Max SHO. The pack is growing.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
We were born to innovate, to find a better way. New Berkley hardbaits. New designs. Trigger-loaded actions. Mind-blowing colors. Because everyone wants to catch more fish.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S. today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S. has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S. cap, plus more. Call us or log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass now.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
Live with you, Bassmaster, live from Toledo Bend. And man, what we have seen so far.
Yeah, the last
Kevin
15
VanDam.
minutes.
Hey, there's a beautiful spot right there. That golf course is just down the road.
Love that golf
from
course.
Cypress Bend, our landing. That's the Cypress Bend Resort.
You and I have had some times there.
Oh, we have. It's a beautiful place and a great facility. And that's the only place that they would let us stay out there.
Yep.
Actually, they wouldn't even let us stay on the property.
Yeah, we were kind of in the perimeter of the
We were,
golf
yeah, that was wise, too, because we weren't really ideal guests, I guess is the right way to put it. Anyway, having good fun here today, and Hank Perry having more fun than anyone right now. But Kevin VanDam, we just saw him catch the 8-pounder out there and then get a full hook extraction demonstration going there. We can't beat that. How in the world would we beat any of that? Stephen Browning among those moving up. Jacob Poroznik, the 2014 winner the last time we were here. He's moving up as well. Now back to KVD Live. He may be into something here.
He's got the lead. Bass Track just gave him credit for that 8-pounder.
Okay,
so he's
thank
2
you,
pounds
thank you,
ahead.
No, I got you. Such. You think he would take another hook to
There
the
it
hand
is.
for an 8-pounder?
Sure. Sure he would.
You think he'd
Another
take
8-pounder? Yeah, he
Dude,
would.
he'll take more than an 8XD to the throat. He'll take an Iron Lotus to the throat. Trust
What
me.
is an
Iron Lotus. It's from Blades of Glory.
Oh, okay.
Give me a break.
No, I'm sorry.
It's one of the most dangerous moves ever.
I guess next I'm a communist for not having watched Blades of Glory.
Chaz Michael Michelson. Sorry. Kevin VanDam live. Tighten up. Tighten up.
Go.
There we go.
Chaz Michael Michelson.
I'm offline just a touch, but that's real close. Uh-oh. Danger. Come off. Maybe we need to start talking about that 8-pounder again that I caught yesterday. You realize, Wes, God, dog, they're getting funky. You realize we started talking about that on that cast. Crazy. Pretty good cast right there. I'll take a hook in the hand for an 8-pounder all day, every day. See how easy it is to get them out if you know what you're doing. Even a 2-aught Mustad KVD, which is a bad son of a gun. You know, it's the reason that I caught that 8-pounder. He had one little hook in him, and I was able to land him with it. So I landed myself. Oh yeah. Biggest thing for this kind of fishing is having the right equipment for cranking. I mean, you got to have a composite rod. You just have to. It makes it so much easier. And a reel like this that has, you know, low gear ratio and it's got an extra big spool. You know, even with, I'm throwing this on bigger line because I can throw it so much farther with this setup. You know, it's a 711 heavy action glass rod built for mega swim baits, or, you know, I designed it just for a 10XD. And it just makes not only casting it a long ways easier, but fishing this thing all day long a lot easier. You know, I mean, just like that with a good lob, you can throw it 70 yards. And it doesn't pull that hard when you're winding it in. You have to wind it hard to get these fish to react to it.
Give me a replay play-by-play on the big fish you just caught.
Okay. So what we were trying to do, we were talking about yesterday's, the 8-pounder I caught yesterday, and it was it's kind of up in the day, and I was practicing and I was fishing. I graphed this a little hump, and I saw some big arches on there, and I made that cast and caught that one. But here I was talking about, I knew I needed to get right on my line, make a perfect long cast, just like that right there. Right on my line. They're not, you know, I had them fired up there a minute ago. Worst thing you can do is just like what I did when I caught that one, is get off of them. But when you make the right cast here, they're there. There's just a bunch of little ones out there though. Just goes to show you right there that a 10XD is not too big a bait even for a 12-inch bass. You know, the beauty of this bait right here is if you get a little bit of wind behind you, you can really throw it, especially with this setup here. I'm throwing it on 17-pound fluorocarbon, and with that, if you can make a long enough cast, you can. I mean, I can easily get 25 feet. The big one I caught yesterday was 28 feet deep where I caught him. The 8-pounder I caught yesterday. So. Our electronics are so good now that geez, what do I got on there now? White bass or something. A little bass. You know, the thing that's such an advantage here for me, and I'm lucky that Humminbird has took the time and resources, invested the money to map these lakes, so they take and search these lakes out and actually create the maps of them. And I mean, it is visually stunning to look at the map after they've done it on any of these lakes or the Tennessee River like this. Here, from the last time till this time, I was blown away by what's on my map, and that's all I did yesterday when I was practicing, is just look for irregularities, you know, on humps, you know, places where it was a little steeper or where a channel swing near it or things like that, and graph them and fish them. And you know, I caught an 8-pounder, a 6-pounder, and a 5-pounder just practicing, just looking at the map chip, looking for, you know, structure that fit this seasonal pattern. got it and didn't stay hooked. I'm getting a bump or a bite basically every cast. The real problem is with all these, they'll never let me fish. I'll never catch another fish off this spot.
You heard VanDam make the comment he'll never catch another fish off that spot. A lot of his spots yesterday got pounded after he left them yesterday. One of the prices you pay for being Kevin VanDam.
The cost of being the boss, as
yes.
they always say.
You and I have seen many things covering him over the years above any of the other anglers.
Oh, far and beyond.
Yes.
I mean, he pays a much steeper price to get where he's gotten, and the GPS pirates, I think he referred to them as a little bit ago, or out in force.
A lot of times what we see is some of the spectators, he's hooked up, locked up live, is they have an allergic reaction that they start to think they're in the event.
Absolutely, yeah. Which I can identify with.
Absolutely.
Ah, crap. Bad cast. And then it fouled up. Try another line here.
Well, I got to say, we hit one of our goals for Bassmaster Live today. Get a little taste of what Kevin VanDam was demonstrating yesterday out there. It was fun to watch that.
No doubt about it.
There may be more to come.
And that was one of the things that we talked about earlier. His shad spawn kind of filled his limit on day one, and then he really went out there, what he's doing now, and practiced and learned a lot of deep spots yesterday and made many culls throughout the day. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If we can have good service on VanDam the rest of the day, I think that's a sign of what's to come.
I tell you,
did you notice how he left the conversation of the hook in his hand and went into complete sales mode?
Yeah, that was great.
It was
smooth, so smooth.
Flawless.
Silky smooth.
I learned things from VanDam.
You know, there's a guy who would take a hook in the hand, a hook to the head any day just to please the crowds. And at the weigh-in, our guy Dave Mercer, there he is right there. And of course, at 3:15 Central Time today, he's going to be cranking up the weigh-in to a huge crowd. Always the huge crowds there at Toledo Bend. But Dave, we wondered, what have you got for us right now? You got some good stuff, right?
Well,
Mr. Mansu.
Probably not any good stuff, but we'll do our best. I am joined by some good stuff right here. Took the pontoon boat right across the lake. Dave Mansu, a former Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open champion and a local resident here on Toledo Bend. And Dave, I asked you, after weigh-in, you watched weigh-in, I said, did anything shock you? What you saw yesterday? I mean, for me, we were 10 anglers in and we had 6 bags over 20 pounds. I was pretty amazed. But what shocked you yesterday?
Well, besides the fact that we had so many bags over 20, it was the fact that the shallow bite was so strong. I really did not anticipate that many bags coming out of shallow water, knowing many of the guys who were in those 20-pound range. I did not believe that it was going to be that strong here. It's such a transition going on right now. The reality of it is there's still a sustained shad bite or shad spawn, and that's really providing a big bite for the guys who are fishing shallow. So it's really surprised me. I know a lot of guys were banking on it again today. With the sun as bright as it is now, it's probably well over. And as expected, Kevin's actually doing quite well with the crankbait right now. So
a little bit more wind today, and I would think, anybody watching this, if you've read Bassmaster magazine ever in your life, wind should help that bite. You hear, is that true here in Toledo Bend?
Well, it can help the bite, but as you know, here at Toledo Bend, it can get quite strong and it can hurt your bite as well. It will tend to move the bait around. Sometimes they'll be out at a certain depth on a point, and despite the fact that you're fishing in 20 to 25 feet of water, the water can still move, and it'll move the bait, and you have to stay with them. Now, obviously, Kevin's very good at it. He's going through a myriad of baits here, trying to trigger a big bite, and looks like he just caught a spoon up there. But as far as the shallow bite goes, it'll push the shad back into the grass edges and whatnot. And I would imagine that some of the guys, earlier we saw Rick Klon, Chris Lane throwing a frog on that grass, that little popping frog. When that shad gets pushed up against the grass, a lot of times that bite will get better as well.
In your opinion, can this tournament be won in one of those? And what I mean is it going to be won by somebody just fishing offshore? Is it going to be won by somebody fishing shallow? Or is it going to be, are you going to have to do a combination that we've heard KVD tried to do today, but the shad spawn did not work out for him?
In my opinion, it's going to be a combination. There's a lot of guys fishing the bank. I was really shocked yesterday when I went out on the water and saw so many guys going up and down the grass, not just the hay grass, but the emergent grass that's coming up all around the lake, throwing frogs, throwing buzz baits, swim jigs, things of that nature. But those areas, not all of them are producing. You have to be in an exact area where there are some fish located where you can catch them. But there's so many guys that I think it's not going to really maintain itself throughout the tournament. So you're going to have a backup plan. You're going to have to be able to go out in that 20 to 30 foot range and be able to catch some fish in order to stay up in the top of the event here.
Looking in on KVD live right now, and as you can see, that's just a little small glimpse of his flotilla following him around. And before we went live, I kind of said to you, it amazes me that guys like Kevin, Ike, all the guys in the Elite Series, but definitely those guys, a lot more pressure on them with those boats around them. I mean, how difficult has that got to be? And I don't mean the pressure of just having them watch you, but all those graphs running, all that around you, it affects your fish.
Absolutely. It would be really nice. Kevin has earned this following. I mean, he's the greatest. There's no doubt about it. The reality of it is, a lot of anglers want to see how he's catching them, where he's catching them. It would be really nice if you want to GPS those places. That's great, but you can shut your sonar off, keep things quiet, so that he can actually do his job. The unfortunate thing is, he's got to find so many places to fish. I don't know. To me, as a professional angler, it gives me that much more respect for the man who can go out and find so many places and continue to be competitive when he has such a following behind him like that. Because unfortunately, not everyone is a sportsman, and some anglers will go right in and fish what he's fished. And so many times he just can't go back on a spot where, perhaps it's a timing deal, and because he can't get back on it, he misses that moment when those big fish are going to bite.
And if you're watching an angler like Kevin VanDam compete out there, a lot of times you get lulled into thinking, okay, he's just fishing there, but you don't know what his next chess move is. And when all those boats, they really have to, Jason Christie talked about it, obviously, at the Classic, and Edwin Evers and stuff. You really have to plan out your approach before you ever pull in there, because I mean, your flotilla rolls in over all your fish, and it's game over. But one of the neat things about Bassmaster Live, it allows us to really see those adjustments. And moments ago, we just saw KVD kind of take a moment, sit down, re-rig some baits, a swim bait I saw there, and try and tie on a spoon, and just those adjustments that I think a lot of times, a casual fan doesn't realize how much time is spent with those key adjustments on the water. They just kind of think, hey, they rigged the rods the night before and go to work.
Right. Well, and in many cases they do, but so many times you're on the water and suddenly the light bulb goes off, and hey, I need to be throwing a bait that I don't have hooked up, and I have to take a minute, to tie that bait on. It's a game you play with yourself. Do I want to waste a few casts in order to do that and try it, or do I stick with what has been, successful for me? But so many times you'll see an angler like Kevin make that adjustment, and bingo, he's got a big fish in the boat. So we see this all the time where anglers will catch a few small fish and change a bait, and suddenly the size of the fish begins to grow. So it's always great to see things like Bass Live. It's opened it up to so many people to see how these adjustments happen moment to moment.
Once again, on the water live with Kevin VanDam right now, and he is unofficially your tournament leader. Left this morning with the lead. Biggest bag of the tournament yesterday, also leading Phoenix Boats, a big bass, and KVD off his worst tournament ever. That was his worst finish ever at our last event in his Bassmaster history. So, one of the things they've always kind of said about Kevin, if he doesn't catch him one day, he is after him the next day. I mean, generally he does not have 2 bad days in a row.
Oh, no. Wheeler was the one that I really expected him to do well at. I mean, he's got a great history there. Looks like he's hooked up again right here.
Kevin VanDam hooked up live with a fish that is not quite double the size of his lure, and that'll tell you right away that is not the kind that you want here. Let's talk about Toledo Bend specifically. One of the amazing things is in the last 6 years, Bass has been here 4 times for the Elite Series, and I said to you, I mean, you come here and it's a different lake every single time because of the water level. And the other unique factor about this body of water is it's one of those tournaments that you go into and it could be won anyway. Really, you can come here and catch them how you want to catch them. That may not always win, but really, this is one of those tournaments where any technique can play.
Absolutely. I mean, you see shallow water fishermen doing well here. You see deep water fishermen like Kevin doing well here. It's such a diverse fishery. You go south, there's grass. You go north, there's no grass. It's all creek channels, creek bends, stumps, trees, things of that nature. You can pick any way you want to fish here and catch fish. And that's really the thing that sets Toledo Bend apart. On top of that,
KVD hooked up live. Let's listen to Kevin VanDam.
No doubt. Yep. That's a good one. Sometimes you just got to show them something different. That's swim bait. Let's see here. We better start another side. Yeah.
There you go, Kevin VanDam. On cue. Moments ago, we talked about how integral and how important those little adjustments can be. He rigged a swim bait and obviously made a very critical call right there.
Well, exactly what we were talking about, Dave. He throws the spoon out, catches one about the size of the spoon, but is confident that the bait just to show him something different. And you being a fisherman as well, you know how difficult it is to fish a swim bait in 20 plus feet of water. To let it get down there and let it do its thing. But he makes that adjustment, and now he's got one in there that obviously
Well, if he gets rid of it, it's going to be really scary way in. But one of the things that I notice about Kevin, and you know, we talk, truly one of the best to ever play the game, you know, arguably the best to ever play the game, and I don't think too many people would actually argue that point. But one of the things that is amazing about him is his efficiency. If you watch him, he wastes very little time. I mean, with all that hoopla and everything around him, you see sometimes where an angler will catch a fish, and then it becomes a seminar. I mean, he tries to get that bait back in the water as quick as possible, because one of the things that he truly is the best at is fire. And but one of the things that I keep hearing here is there's not a lot of those schools anymore, or not anymore, but right now, just the way the fish are set up. You know, we come here in a few weeks, and right where Kevin's fishing, I mean, your graph is lasagna, but not the case this year, I'm hearing.
Well, right now the fish are in such a transition. You know, we did not have a long period of cold weather here this year, and they actually started to spawn very early. But there's so many fish in this lake that they'll spawn for months here. So there's a number of fish that have begun to move out away from the spawning flats towards their summer haunts and patterns, but there's not a lot of them. So many places you'll go over, you'll see 2, 3, 4 fish sitting there, you know, where when the timing's right, like in a week or two, you know, the graph is just going to light up with them. So many places you got to kind of get in there, maybe catch, you know, this is kind of the way I was looking at this tournament, was you get in there, you're going to catch a couple fish, and then you're going to have to move to the next spot because there's just not enough of those good ones there. Guys like Kevin have obviously found locations where there's some pretty good ones sitting there and a few of them, but it's not as strong as it was. Many of those bigger fish, as you could see yesterday from the shallow water fishermen, you know, have decided to stay up there a little bit longer because of that shad spawn.
Well, Kevin VanDam, your leader, and as you can see, added a little bit to his weight, had 45 pounds, now up to 48.7, and I gotta believe he's one fish away from, you know, kind of feeling like time to go pre-fishing again like he did yesterday. You believe, or on Toledo Bend, does he need to cull a few more of them?
I think Kevin's well aware of the fact that on any given cast on this lake you can catch a giant, and any of those guys below him could do that. So I think he's going to get up, you know, try to get comfortable in that low 20s range, and then go find him some more fish for tomorrow. Look at some places without showing them to a lot of them to the spectators, because again, it's unbelievable to me that he has to worry about those things, but he's great at making those adjustments.
Once again, on the water live with Kevin VanDam, your tournament leader.
Okay, make the right cast this time. Bumped it.
Kevin VanDam, your tournament leader. And Dave, one of the key things that he said there was, I got to make the right cast this time. A casual fan may look at this and think, oh, he's fishing a big flat, but really what he's doing is no different than target fishing along a shoreline. I mean, you have to be that precise, I imagine, here.
Absolutely. You know, you're right. It does look like a flat. More than likely, it's a long point sticking out very far out into the lake. These fish love to get on the ends of points, especially ones that have little shelves. If you can find one of those points that has a small shelf on it, they would love to sit on that shelf and wait for the bait to come by them. If you can find one, as Kevin spoke earlier, if you find one that's got a little hard spot on it, it's money. It's money. And he is making that precise cast to hit that exact spot every time. Just as you would if you had a visual stump you were throwing to. Well, Kevin can see what's under the water and throwing at it.
Well, Kevin VanDam, your tournament leader, but earlier today, have a look at some of this footage in Chris Lane. Heartbreak after what has been, a horrible season in Chris Lane standards, really, for the last 5 years, but turned around our last event and threatening to turn it around again and continue to his drive to get back to the Geico Bassmaster Classic. But the man with the plan, saying, catch me if you can. KVD went out swinging. His morning a little slower than he had hoped. The shad spawn bite did not work out, but when you're Kevin VanDam, that's okay. I mean, if it was me, I'd be laying in the fetal position, sucking my thumb, wondering why Mother Nature is ruining my life once again. Not Kevin VanDam. But one thing did kind of ruin his life, and that is a hook in the hand. But as he said, I'll take an 8-pounder. I'll put a hook in my hand for an 8-pounder any day. Kevin VanDam, slowly but surely culling right back up there. Has an incredible day so far. Obviously, your day one leader, but leaderboard here today. Where are we looking at? Of course, Kevin VanDam, your leader with 48 pounds, 7 ounces. Hank Cherry was fishing right in front of your cottage or your house yesterday in second. Stephen Browning in third. Matt Aaron, Jacob Perosnik, Tommy Biffle, and Chad Morgan-Taylor in 7. It is a star-studded top 12. We'll see who makes the top 50 here at the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
Days, it's funny. I wake up in the morning and nothing else matters except where and when my first bite of the day is going to come. And we have so much going on in a tournament, getting gear ready, in and out of the truck and the boat, prep and tackle, all that kind of stuff. And probably one of the most favorite pieces of gear or equipment that I've got is my ARE Z-Series cap, ARE's premier model, and it's easy to see why.
He's fished here for decades. He knows every hump, every drop-off, every contour. He's dedicated his entire life to understanding this single body of water, and he didn't know squat about it until 2 hours ago. AutoChart Live lets you build your own high-definition maps anywhere in the world in real time. Only from Humminbird.
30, 29, 28, tick, tock. 25 years old, and you're still laying in the mud. 15 feet in the air, that's where you feel most alive. 10 meter maids waiting to wallpaper your truck. Better get out of town. 5, 4, 3. The all-new Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places.
The competition is fierce, and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The Classic and each individual Elite Event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 Black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at BassmasterFantasy.com.
Come on now.
That one right there. Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com.
Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2014 Geico Bassmaster Classic champion Randy Howell. Trip includes airfare, hotel, rental car, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat with Mercury engine, and Randy's gear from Lowrance, Daiwa, Bass Pro Shops, and much more.
You, the winner of a valuable prize, could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
Yeah, I had a good day today. Yeah, not being able to even fish the spot I caught them on in practice because of the waves. I just took a gamble they were there, and they were, caught them, fairly way I hoped to catch them here. The fish are moving out, they're staging on, not real deep, but semi-deep structure. And, pulled up there, I can catch a whole lot more fish shallow, but when I get bit deep, it's a big one.
Rick Clunn, number 2 in the standings after one day of fishing right there. Rick Clunn having a little bit of trouble today as we follow live. 3 more hours to go in our Bassmaster Elite Series event presented by ARE Truck Caps, 5th stop of the year, tremendous Toledo Bend. Mark Zona, things got really kind of juicy in our last hour of coverage.
Well, they did, Tommy Sanders.
And thanks to Dave Mansu and Dave Mercer for breaking it down.
Great friend of the
Oh,
Bassmaster Elite Series staff. Thanks for helping us out. Unbelievable information. Correct me if I'm wrong. He is a transplant from New Jersey.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
He's a mid-Atlantic, Northeast Atlantic
Can we please get out, please, with Kevin VanDam live again?
I think that's the place to be. Certainly has been.
Flipping them trees. Right now I'm trying to play like Mark Davis or Jeff Crete, try to drag one up with a big 10-inch thumper worm. I don't have a lot of patience for that. It won't be, it'll be my last cast with that worm. I had a couple little ones bump it. Or they better bite it this time. They want me to keep throwing it. There he is. God. Little ones. A lot of fish out there.
one bumped it. Try a little something different here, a little different angle of attack, because I'm seeing them right here. Bunch of them way out here. I got something happened to my depth finder where it got mega interference. Get that work done. Ah, crap. I gotta... Good cast of that wind like that. Ooh, I'm hitting the bottom good though. There we go.
Couple of big fish. Randall Tharp with a 5-pounder and Marty Robinson with a 7. Change the hydro wave up here.
Sometimes I can do that too with a delay, and that's how I run it all day yesterday. I'll change it, the sound pattern. See if we can't get them fired up again. There we go. At least we're going in the heart of the juice. Gosh, dang it. I got hammered right there. There we go. A bunch of them with it.
A good look at the contrast. Some of your leaders from day one. Chris Lane, who said he's literally going to start shallow, stay shallow all day long. VanDam, who's made his way out to secondary points, secondary flats near the main lake.
There we go.
Timing seems to have gotten right. We've got 3 fish, 1 good one, 3.5, 4 pounder, and you know it's starting to come together a little bit. You just have to be patient. The one thing for sure is I'm not trying to catch 1.5-pounders or 2 pounders. I mean, if I get one on this, it's usually a good one. And they're just going at it. You know, I might only get 3 or 4 more bites the rest of the day, but if I do, the good thing is they go in the box, at least most of them. I've been catching them by these cypress trees and by this grass. And as you can see over here, we've got the wind's blowing into that perfect. We've got that whole line to fish. And everything's set up to be over there pretty good. And then, you know, we got a whole nother line, you know, for everybody watching at home. One thing that I can say is, you know, we have had to completely change, you know, the game plan from what it was this morning to what it is now. And one thing, you know, I think over a period of time, you know, I'll have had to try to fish bite an area that, you know, not biting, or it's just not going to happen, and you end up killing yourself. You beat yourself up mentally, and it's a hard thing to do. But just to completely change sides and go do things different, you know, we're still fishing the same, but we're just in another part of the lake, and this place has got big fish all over it, and you just have to know that you're doing the right thing. They just, you know, they just seem to like this thing when the sun comes up. I don't know, you know, I tried to get them on it in a shad spawn, and you know, yesterday, and I couldn't get anything to bite, and I was, you know, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out what was going on. I had 15 rods out on the front of the boat until I finally figured out what they wanted. And then I picked this up at about 10:30 yesterday, and it didn't take, you know, it doesn't take long once you get in the right stuff or in the right stretch. The fish just want it. I mean, they just eat the thing. And I tell you what, we're going to be back in just a second. We got to run over to the other side, and hopefully we can get one of those big explosions for you.
Chris Lane gave us a little stay tuned right there, so we will heed that. You know, listen to Dave Mansu, and all these anglers can run down a laundry list of reasons why this guy, Kevin VanDam, has 20 wins and no one else is even close. But you think of circa, and Kevin mentioned this morning, you go back circa 2007, 2008, he's out here in this position, he's pretty much running the show, and somebody's got to come out there and catch him. But now, as he told us, the talent pool is so much deeper.
Oh my God!
And I mean, it's just not as easy as it was 8 years ago.
Who did we have as an angler? We had somebody we had a camera on recently in one of the last few tournaments that said, "Man, look at the Elite Series
I mean,
field."
I'm fishing the same types of things in all different areas that I'm fishing, for sure. You know, there's a huge spawning flat right inside of us right here, and this is, you know, the outside points from them. But I mean, the thing about this lake is there's miles and miles of phenomenal spawning flats, so that, you know, there's a population of fish everywhere. You got to just find where they're set up based on the conditions, the wind direction, and that. They move around with the bait and that. I knew when I pulled up here that they were going to be here because I could just see it, that, you know, the graph was alive with life. There's, you know, white bass and shad and just fish present. So you know you're going to catch something. It's just, you know, is it going to be little ones? Is it going to be white bass? Or is it going to be the ones you're really looking for? A shad right there running from my jig.
Wow, Hank Cherry. Blog just came in from Jim Sexton out on the water following Hank Cherry. Just lost another one, 6 to 7 pounds.
Which he lost one that size
yesterday. And another. He kind of got frustrated and relaxed and said, I know this, I got a $10,000 check, because he's already got about 20 pounds today.
Somebody making a comment on that, Tommy, what you're talking about, where 6, 7, 8 years ago, VanDam was kind of left alone, not left alone, but really dominated this style fishing. And somebody actually just made the comment, our friend Doodle Master, most of the guys are good at deep cranking now. The electronics now help speed up the learning curve. I agree with that. I really do. I think the electronics speed up the learning curve. I think television and internet has sped up the learning curve. Because here's basically what VanDam has done. Really, since we've covered the Bassmaster together, he did exactly what David Fritz had an advantage on through the late 80s and early 90s. But the thing David Fritz had the advantage on, which a lot of those Carolina guys, the Jeff Cobles of the world and stuff like that, is you never really got to see up close and personal what the heck they were doing offshore. You know what I mean? You'd see photo galleries and you'd see a little clip it here, a little clip it there, you know, of offshore fishing. But we've been in VanDam's boat now for 11 years for entire days and condensed it down into the Bassmaster show, or now Bassmaster Live.
We've learned more today, I think, than we have in just about any single Bassmaster posted show before, just from spending this much time with him out there.
And really, I'm going to be honest with you, we've been very quiet, because I'm not lying. Listening to and watching Kevin VanDam is a seminar. It is a constant seminar. He's a little bit like Aaron in a different way, but he verbalizes what the heck he's doing all day. But here's the thing, gang, and I mean this. If you cannot watch this, and look, you're not going to go out and be able to do this like Kevin VanDam, but this shows you verbatim from the screenshot of his graph of the mapping to the type of slope he's looking for, a day-long seminar of how to ledge fish. And that's why you talk about the learning curve, and what one of our viewers said, the learning curve so much faster. Yeah. If you watch, let me put it this way, if you watch years and years and years and years and years and years and years of this style fishing or anything else that we cover, and go out and you cannot do it, you cannot do it.
That's right.
Because there's no stone unturned in our in the coverage now.
No. We can't quit watching it. We will not quit watching it. What have we seen so far today?
You honestly feel like one of those flurries is coming again today.
Absolutely. Tried to get that shallow bite going early today with not too much in the way of results. Had 2 small fish to show for it. Finally moved offshore. It wasn't too long before things started popping.
There's a good one.
That right there was the game changer.
Boom!
A little bit costly. Got a 10XD stuck in the hand. It happens, Tommy.
Sure.
It happens.
So. I guess you're right.
Right here.
Took care of that, though, too.
There's a weird part of me really enjoyed that segment, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's like that. Slick as a whistle.
Slick as a whistle.
Sure.
12.
We got him about 19.4 as per Bass Track. I don't know if it's quite that much, but it's pretty close.
Is he so far the beast of the day? Oh, no! Wait! Sorry.
I think you're right.
It comes out.
Yeah.
Give me one more like that. I'll feed you all day long, Jack.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Well, there's the evidence of it. Beast of the Day, Oda Week right there. Kevin VanDam, 48 pounds and 7 ounces. Again, punching up just below 20 pounds for today. Hank Cherry, though. Yeah, there's the names that he didn't have to deal with. Hank Cherry, you know, Keith Combs. He didn't have to deal with Jacob Porosnik.
Yeah.
All these guys he's got to worry about now.
Point well made.
Man, oh, man. It's a tough life out there, but Kevin VanDam obviously still knows how to run the show. Bassmaster Live, 2.5 hours left to go.
There you go.
It was an awesome feeling winning back-to-back. There's only been a few of us that have been able to do that. I feel like I'm in real good company with that. But just spectacular, man. It's just an awesome feeling to be able to do that. It just brings back a lot of memories. Every time I come here, I won on that stage in 2011. That pavilion back behind there is what I won in 2001. So there's a lot of good memories and all on this 2 acres right here. So it's an awesome place.
The Academy Sports and Outdoors Bassmaster Elite on Wheeler Lake is brought to you by Lowrance, Toyota, Berkeley, Triton Boats, and by GoPro.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
30, 29, 28, tick, tock. 25 years old, and you're still playing in the mud. 15 feet in the air, that's where you feel most alive. 10 meter maze, waiting to wallpaper your truck. Better get out of town. 5, 4, 3. The all-new Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places.
The ultimate predator has evolved again. Now, Yamaha B.A.S.S SHO Performance is prowling the waters in 4 hungry, exciting new models. With their 4 valves per cylinder and double overhead cam fuel-injected design, these advanced 4-stroke predators are taking performance to a whole new level. Vicious, lean, efficient. B.A.S.S SHO. The pack is growing.
We were born to innovate, to find a better way. New Berkeley hard baits. New designs. Trigger-loaded actions. Mind-blowing colors. Because everyone wants to catch more fish.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S cap, plus more. Call us or log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass now.
29 pounds, 3 ounces!
Edwin Evers here, 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion. In celebration of Lowrance winning the last 5 Bassmaster Classics, we're going to extend the ultimate upgrade promo. If you buy an HDS Gen 3 with Structure Scan 3D, we're going to mail you a $300 rebate. 5 Bassmaster Classic champions in a row. That doesn't happen by chance. That happens because these units are the best.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2014 Geico Bassmaster Classic champion Randy Howell. Trip includes airfare, hotel, rental car, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat with Mercury engine, and Randy's gear from Lowrance, Daiwa, Bass Pro Shops, and much more. You, the winner of a valuable prize, could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
You're watching the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite at Toledo Bend. Brought to you live by Toyota.
Bassmaster Live, a little less than 2.5 hours left to go in our coverage again today at 3:15 Central Time. We got Dave Mercer cranking up the weigh-in there at the Cypress Bend Park, and that's going to be a great, great time there. Kevin VanDam, Rick Clunn, Chris Lane, Edwin Evers, the 4 anglers that we are covering today. Very tough place to get coverage. I think we've been extremely lucky so
And
far
correct me if I'm wrong, they are locked up tighter than a drum.
Is that
as of right now?
Is that right? By that mean we can't see their pictures?
Cannot see their
Oh,
pictures.
okay,
Well, we
yeah.
can. We can see one frozen picture, kind of like this picture right here, Tommy Sanders.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an
Right.
artist rendering right there.
Right.
But, I mean, I tell you what, the last hour with Kevin VanDam was just something tremendous. I can't say enough about it. And you've made some great points about what we learned out there.
And here's what's interesting is, number one, we apologize to all of you when we do get locked up tighter than a drum, Jack. But the other side of that is as challenging as this day has been, and I have a feeling the rest of the weekend will be a challenge on Toledo Bend with the cell service. What glimpses we have been able to see today have been fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. The things we've learned. And just and Dave Mansu mentioned this as well, the presence of mind to stop what you're doing, retie a whole new bunch of stuff on right there. Something a lot of people who are around a bunch of fish would think, I don't dare quit chunking at them right now, you know? And then we saw Kevin VanDam do that.
No, you know, it's really, really interesting to watch him do this. We've been very fortunate to be able to watch Kevin VanDam ledge fishing in his boat together.
Sure.
But here's what's and this is something that we were just talking about before break, was talking about the learning curve being so much faster right now. That style fishing is so much more show me, don't tell me. And I don't want this to sound the wrong way. You can read about ledge fishing as much as you want, okay? You can read about it as much as you want. But to be able to listen and visually watch someone do it is light years past reading a darn article. And I don't want that to sound the wrong way, because articles is all we had through the 80s and the 90s. And then you'd go out and do trial and error. But to listen to a Kevin VanDam, or really, I'll be honest with you, in Edwin Evers' ledge fish, is so much more immense. It's so much more powerful. It's a show me, don't tell me. You know what I mean? When you put a visual with a technique, it does so much more than reading about an article on it.
And you put it in a time frame, and you get an idea that what you don't get from reading an article, a laundry list of things you must do. You watch that, you know what's more important than the other thing, what you need to get in place first before you can do C and D.
No, it's like a light bulb goes off and you're like, oh, that's how it's done, because this is how you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot different to have a visual, especially if you're an idiot like I am.
Or a complete cipher like I am, which is a 0.
Well, it wasn't a very hard decision for me this time, because everywhere I went with this, I've been able to catch fish on the lake. Up there by the boat ramp, all the way down south, of course over here. And, you know, you just go. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, Toledo Bend is just stocked full of fish, man. And you can go in, you can catch a 3, 4, 8 pounder anywhere. You know, I mean, you could be right there on that cast. One could just blow it up. So just, you know, knowing the time of year, the temperature, everything that's, you know, going on right now with this high water, the one thing that I do know is that the back of the pockets for me have not been good. So, not being a deep fisherman, I've tried to narrow it down to, you know, main lake pockets, main lake points. And you know, it worked out yesterday. It worked in practice, and it's working today okay. You know, I don't know how long it'll last, but hopefully it'll last a couple more days if we can get a couple big ones to bite. Cypress trees too, anything that, you know, the water temp's around 80 degrees. So cypress trees, they hold shad, they hold bait, they hold shade, and hopefully giant bass.
Stay right there.
I just hope that we get to see that. The bite is unbelievable. I mean, it's no secret, you know, what I'm doing. I'm throwing this whopper plopper out there, and the bite is just the most ungodly bite I've ever seen. I mean, it's just cold. It's fun. I know that. It's not the most relaxing fishing in the world, but it is fun. With a what? No. You know, I thought I had one, but I had some in practice that hit this thing that it stopped a beat or two. I had to get regrouped, and it comes out of nowhere. I mean, it comes out of absolutely nowhere. It could be by rocks. It could be by a cypress tree. The ones that get it right at the boat are the ones that probably scare you the most. And some of the best thing to do with it too is to not look at it. Just don't look. Wait till they pull back. Yeah.
Well, that's the bait last night he told me not to talk about. He said, you're going to know exactly what I'm throwing. That's a whopper plopper right there. And that's exactly what I was going to say before he brought it up. Not a secret anymore if you go in any tackle store that has 37 rows of a whopper plopper on the wall. By far and away, I would say the most popular topwater bait in the country right now that people do not want to talk about. I just want to see one hit it.
Yeah.
And he did say he only had...
The points of the grass have definitely been where, you know, the bigger fish have come for me. Like that right there. Come on.
Gosh.
What a hog. Catch up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby! Bow! Right there! Woo! Okay. As I was saying, the points of the grass have really seemed to catch that right there! Woo-hoo!
Did you see that bite?
Put him on the big side there.
You see that? I can't wait to see the headstand.
Now that's some live TV. Hum-diddly, hum-diddly. Huh? Woo! All day.
Before you were so rudely interrupted, the points of the grass.
So Z and Tommy, I know you guys are back there watching. The points of the grass really seem to be holding those big fish.
What?
And with this, it just shows you your day can change like that, man. I got all day to throw this thing at the rest of this grass and that cypress tree. And then we're gonna go run up to Negrete at another big pocket, big creek. Fish the points, fish the grass, just go, go, go. Whoo, when they get it, they get it.
Yeah, throw that bait all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, good idea. Capital idea.
Mmm.
Talk
See, and
about
I'm
those
thinking right
37
there.
rows of Whopper
See how that
Floppers. How many of
grass
those
point
got
comes
sold
out
at that
right up
moment
there?
right there?
To me, it's just like fishing Lake Kissimmee, Okeechobee. You know, it's hay grass, very similar to Kissimmee grass, but it's the same thing as far as when the fish are finishing up spawning, still spawning. A lot of the bigger ones will spawn out deep off the points of the grass, but man, I'm telling you, you can catch some big ones doing it. Might not get many, but when you get one,
I caught one good one right there on this. It's just kind of a, rounding point. There's a bunch of stuff in here that's just good cranking stuff that you can get a fit bite or two on at times.
Two of the best fish catches we've had on Bassmaster Live of the season so far are the day of the week.
So we'll just keep moving.
That was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
A lot of times when they hit a top water, they're like a cowboy that just can't see real well. Well, here's the deal, dude. I mean, that thing got it when it hit it. That was awesome.
God, they hit that thing so hard. Huh? Wave hit me just at the wrong time.
Tommy, can I ask you a favor?
What's that?
Will you please re-feed me real quick?
I think we could watch that about 5 more times, the top water
The
catch.
grass, the points of the grass have definitely been where, the bigger fish have come for me. Like that right there.
Call the shot.
Oh.
What a hog.
That should get him in the top 5 when Bass Track up there.
Oh, should it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's only got 4 fish now.
Yeah, baby! Bow! Right there! Woo! Okay.
My whole body locked up when that fish bit.
That was
As
unbelievable.
I was saying, the points of the grass have really seemed to catch that right there! Put him on old big side there. Now that's some live TV.
Agreed. That is some
no
live
doubt.
TV.
Hey, I'm going
right
to
there.
tell you that VanDam's catch earlier today with the 10XD was fantastic, but don't get me wrong. That could have put it to shame.
Oh,
fair.
Two neck and neck, running neck to neck. Catch of the year, both of those.
By the boat ramp. It's going to be fantastic.
Largemouth. So.
Yeah, it's called all bigs from here on out.
We shall see.
And I'm telling you, come 1:30, you're hurting, boy. I mean, but you gotta dig down deep. I can promise.
Oh.
Because that's when the
I'm trying to
bite's
get it
really,
right
really
there.
good. Yeah, and we can tell them that. Are we live? Yeah. We could, you know, I'm just saying, when that sun gets all the way up and 1:30 is when the bite really good seems to get, you know, better. I shouldn't say better, but you're tired, and it can happen on any cast, just like that one back there. And you got to be ready. I mean, I had to dig down. I said focus for the last 10 minutes yesterday, and I was going down the grass line, and the 5-pounder just engulfed it. You just got to always be ready. You can't stop throwing it.
So here's what I said to Chris Lane last night. He said, well,
but you can
I'm fishing a topwater bait that I really don't want to give out, but you're going to know what it is when I see it. And he said, it's a big topwater bait, Z. And I said, are you throwing a whopper plopper, Chris? Why would I be throwing that?
Maybe he just changed to it today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
So good. So much fun to watch. This guy and his brother, both of them. Even if he hadn't caught that fish, he'd have the same positive attitude.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And you know, he said, look, y'all are going to see what I'm throwing when I get it going. I'm going to start it later in the morning because I'm going to fish for a limit fast. But he'd also said he will do this all day long. And said he lost some giants on that thing yesterday that he made the comment, it's better to not even look at the bait.
Yeah,
just keep your
wait till
eyes.
it pulls back on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Bassmaster Live.
Little bitty ones. You don't think a 10XD just catches big fish? Man. They're down there. No, I'm not seeing nothing. Scared them away or what?
Kevin VanDam started the day on top. He is back on top. About the same margin he started the day with. Cherry, the man who's come up behind him. We saw Chris Lane. Fabulous little segment right there in which he moved into the third spot.
Enjoyable 30-minute
That was
segment right there.
another great 30 minutes of Bassmaster Live. We got another couple of hours at least to go with you here, and we'll be right back to Toledo Bend. The ARE Truck Caps Elite event here, number 5 of the season 2016. We'll see you in a minute.
The Academy Sports and Outdoors Bassmaster Elite on Wheeler Lake is brought to you by Humminbird, Minn Kota, Skeeter Boats, Mercury,